So you guys, there we go. Okay, so we are now going to report it. Shlomo and Kobe. It seems to me maybe you guys aren't wearing your kippahs, which would not be good because we're about to learn Torah. Okay, so let's go over what we did yesterday. Okay, let's go over what we did yesterday. And Shlomo, don't touch anything, please. Every single time we touch something, no matter how much we think we're helping, it hurts. So please don't.
There was a box in front of your face and I got rid of it.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so so here's what we're talking about.
Shut up.
What we discussed yesterday was the following. We talked about how when it comes to tefillah, there's a fundamental dilemma. Let's use the word dilemma when it comes to tefillah. Okay, the fundamental dilemma is as follows. Okay, that we want to pray to God to improve our situation in life. That's what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to accomplish that our situation in life improves. For whatever reason, whatever it is that we want more wisdom, we want more wealth, we want more health, whatever it is, better health. That's what we're trying to accomplish. Azriel, I don't want to say it again. Please put the phone away, not down, but away. So that's not out again, Azriel.
What?
Put the phone away, so it's not out. Okay, and Ozzy, Aaron, please close your computer. You do not need it. Okay, so that's what we were discussing is the idea of having of trying to improve our lot in life. Okay, but at the same time, what we have is we find ourselves believing that whatever God does is perfect. And since perfection can't change because it can't get any better because it's perfect, and it can't get any worse because perfection can't get bad. So then what ends up happening is that we're asking God to change things, but perfection can't change. In which case, prayer as we know it doesn't really work out. Okay, it doesn't really work. So what I challenged everybody with was to think to themselves, taking those 3 steps. Step number 1, we maintain that what God does is perfect. Step number 2, we maintain that what's happening to us is from God. Therefore, what's happening to us is perfect. So in step number 3, our asking God to improve it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Doesn't make much sense. So how then do we understand how prayer works? Right. So I posed this to you guys. I'm curious to hear if you guys came up with anything. But I posed this on a different forum. And one of the answers that I got was, well, prayer is not really for God. It's really for us, which is a nice like cop-out type of answer. But then why are we talking to God? And why are we asking God for specific things if it's not really for us? That doesn't seem to make any sense. So I didn't like that answer too much. So let's hear. What do you guys say? You guys have any ideas?
I think the first things we talked about was that davening was for God because like why, like we said.
It's okay, you don't know Shlomo.
Okay.
Yes.
Why is davening for God?
Funny.
Well, it's not like when you mean for God, God doesn't need anything. So it's not for God.
So it's really for us.
But okay, but what does that mean for us? What was that like? First of all, what's the difference who it's for? And as I'm addressing, and Shlomo, let me ask you this question. You ready? Am I talking to God or not?
Right.
I'm asking questions, yes or no?
Right now, no.
No. When I pray.
Oh yeah.
Right,
okay, so then I don't know if it's for God or not. I don't know what that means really, but I am talking to God, right? Now, Shlomo, let me ask you a second question. Am I asking God to change things? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So then it doesn't really make a difference who it's for. Everything we're saying is still true.
Right.
So that's
Rabbi.
yes, Kobe.
Les asked me if you're able to let him in because he can't hear you in the classroom.
So then tell him to move into the seat in front of Gabriel. Okay, so that's what, because that's right near the speaker, so he'll be able to hear me fine. Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, so okay. So that's the fundamental question. Let's go. Yeah. Hold on. Why am I drawing a blank here? Simcha, did you come up with anything?
No.
Okay.
I don't exactly know it. I think that though that everything we do is not for God, it's for ourselves, and God doesn't actually care.
God doesn't care?
Like, of course he cares, but I'm saying, like,
I'm an appointment.
he doesn't care.
So I can go.
Like, it's for you. Like, if you don't do it, he doesn't actually care. It's just
If he doesn't what?
If you want it to help you out, then you do it.
So do you think that God doesn't listen to our prayers?
He does, but he doesn't. It's your choice though to pray and stuff. Like, if you don't want it, you don't, and then like God's not going to force you to pray.
Okay, I think that's obvious. My question is really,
I
what?
think we do ourselves to get closer to God, not for him to get like.
I'm saying like this: if it's your choice, it's your choice to pray, correct? But does prayer work?
Yes.
Okay, so how does prayer work?
Is there any proof that it works? Prayer is all belief.
Yeah, okay, so I'm saying, so do you believe that prayer works?
I mean,
Yes,
if you do, then you believe that it works, you know?
So I'm not asking if you believe prayer works. I'm asking, does prayer, how does prayer work?
No one knows.
No, I know.
Hey, go to the kitchen.
I do know how prayer works, and I'd love to explain it, but I want to hear what you guys have to say.
It works that
I think you should explain why you think that prayer works.
Okay, I will. We'll get to that if need be, but I want to hear your thoughts. What?
I think it's need be. You already said this stuff. I already said my thoughts. Now I need you to say.
So,
Hey, got one person. I go to sleep.
okay, so okay. So here's the story. This is how I'm gonna explain it. You ready? Okay. This is the explanation that I have. Okay. Here's the story. You ready? When you in order to have God, like let me take a step back. Gabriel. Here's my question for you, Gabriel. Do you believe that every single thing that occurs to you is God changing the world for you?
Nope. I said no. He runs the whole world.
What?
I run it.
You too.
It's what?
What you talking about?
some
Here's-
stuff just revolves on the nature of life.
Okay, so there's such a thing as, so we Jews do believe in nature. We believe in nature. We believe that the world runs on nature, but that nature is powered by God. And there are times that God interrupts nature. Okay, there are times that God interrupts nature and does something outside their own nature. What do we call that when God does that?
A nature.
A nace. Okay, we call that a miracle, right? So normally the sea flows in one direction, okay, and then at the splitting of the sea, God caused something abnormal to happen. Let me ask you this question. Yeah, simply you'll like this. You ready? So if you take your hand and put it down on the desk like this, Exactly, just like that. Is there ever a chance that your hand will go straight through the desk?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, there's a chance.
What the heck are you saying?
Okay, so Yaakov, yeah, who said yes, there's a chance?
A miracle. He said it's a miracle.
So how does not a miracle. Forget miracle. Take an atheist scientist. An atheist scientist, you'd ask him.
Yes. Of course, there's a chance, but if I just went this lightly, there's a chance it would break.
It's not a question of, well, hold on a second. See, Simcha, let me explain. Simcha, let me explain. Physics, it's physics, Simcha. You ready? The table doesn't have to break for you to do this. Okay, the table is made up of atoms. Okay.
But there's something under it.
There's nothing under the table. It doesn't matter what's under.
But your atoms and that atoms are on the same time.
Yeah, Simcha, the chances, so close to me, the odds of your hand, the molecules in your hand hitting the table at the exact moment that all the molecules in the table move away from each other are like it's almost there's almost zero chance. But there is, listen to me, okay, stop with the dumb experiment because it's not going to happen, okay? But there is a small chance, okay? Let me ask you a question, Simcha. How do casinos stay in business? How do casinos stay in business, Gabriel?
By people coming back because they either lost or won and they want to like.
No, I'm saying, but isn't there a possibility that the customers will always win and casinos will lose all their money?
There is that chance. No, because yes, there is that chance, but they'll kick you out to win certain amounts of money.
I'm saying, let's say.
This is a better chance than losing.
Okay, so there are some things, right, Gabriel, very good. There's certain things that are in this world that work on odds. Okay, they work on odds. Okay, what? Okay, so the odds are when it comes to your table, the molecules are always going to stick together. When it comes to gambling, the rule is the house always wins, because yes, you might win one deck at blackjack, you might win the next round of blackjack, you might win 4 or 5 rounds, but if you play enough times, the odds are the house is always going to win, which is why casinos are always profitable. You never have a non-profitable casino because the odds are always in the casino's favor. That's why it always makes sense for casinos to win and to play, because they're going to keep making money. Okay, that's just odds.
What if someone wins a ton of money and then just leaves? You could do that.
So the casino, right? So what does the casino do to make sure that doesn't happen?
They do that every day. They make a certain amount and leave.
It does not happen every day. What do casinos do with gamblers like that?
If you have a wall, then you're not allowed to come back.
No, the opposite. What does the casino? Casino doesn't want to ban them. What do they want, Simcha?
They want them to keep coming back because the odds are that they're going to lose money.
Exactly. So they give them free flights to Las Vegas. They give them the nicest suite in the hotel because they want them to take that money and they want to be like, oh, you're Mr. Lucky, right? We want you to keep winning. So keep gambling because they know, like Shlomo just said, they know at some point they're going to end up losing.
Advantage of that though. Someone can just win a ton and then come back and
yeah, 100%. But
the odds of that happening are less than the casino winning it all back.
Okay.
Much less. Okay, much less. Their casino will give it enough time, but yes, Ozzy, Silka, you're 100% right. It could happen that a guy could win $25 million and then walk out of the casino and say, okay, I'm quitting gambling for life. That's it. I'm never going to spend another cent gambling, but that, it's very, very rare.
If he's addicted to gambling, he's gonna go back. Yeah.
Right, if he's yes, and if the casino makes it fun for him and it gives him all these special treats, then he's also gonna, because there's all the money in the world won't buy the fun experiences the casino's gonna give him. But forget casinos for a minute, okay? There are such a thing as the natural course of events. Now that's powered by God, but that doesn't mean that God is causing every single time you put your hand on the table for the molecules to stay where they are. Okay, that's not what's happening. God set into the world a certain course of nature that is called, you ready? I'm going to give you two fancy Hebrew words: hashgacha klolis, general providence. Okay, what have you guys heard? You guys have heard hashgacha what?
Practice.
You've got hashgacha pratis. Very good. Okay, that's where God interrupts nature.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's where God. Now, what do we? Sorry, Simcha.
What?
I said, I'm sorry. Okay. I thought I heard you say something. Okay, good. So, any case, so God will naturally have things work out that the world goes according to nature, goes according to the natural plan, goes according to hashgacha klaus. Okay, Ozzy, it's going to be much easier for you to focus on what I'm saying without a computer to distract you. Same thing with you, Gabriel. Okay, so what you have is going forward. Okay, what we're always trying to do when we pray is we're asking God, look, God, I know according to the natural course of events, I might get sick, I might lose my wealth, I might never be wealthy.
We're asking God to stop that.
Exactly, but not stop, but rather, what's a better word? Not stop, but
Control it, not attack.
okay, control, interfere, interrupt, that's the idea. Okay, so we're trying to get God to interfere in in nature and do something spectacular for us, right? I'm not that bright. I'm not that intelligent. So I ask God, you're the one that gives knowledge to man. Give me from you, give me intelligence, give me analytical abilities, give me insight. Right, I know I wasn't born that way. I'm not the smartest guy, right? I was at the bottom of my class.
Like casinos, like they have actually like a thing, like that people come back. What's the reason we come back to them? Like, let's say you dog him like that, like someone's sick and then he doesn't help you. Like, why would you come back to him if he didn't help you then?
So there's a number of answers to that question, but I want to deal with that secondary. Okay, so I don't want to get distracted. It's a very good question. Okay, and I do want to deal with it. I just don't want to interrupt the train of thought that we're on. But that's a very good question, an excellent question. Okay, but moving forward here. Okay, what we're asking God is, God, I don't deserve knowledge. Okay, I don't deserve knowledge. I don't have it. It's not something I have. But God, please help me become more knowledgeable. I want you to interfere with the natural course of events and make me smarter than I am. Right? God, Rafeinu Hashem v'nei Rafei, Hashem, you're the one that heals people. Oshia v'nei Vashea, right? Please give a refuah shlema to me, to whoever I know who's sick, whatever it is. Please help us. Give me a refuah shlema. I'm asking God to interfere with things, right? Baruch Aleinu as Hashana Azos. God, I got a bad job. I didn't do well in school, and now I'm sort of like stuck in this rut of a low-paying job, right? Yeah, but then we say, Sabenu mituva v'rachshana sinu kashani matavos. Make this year very profitable for me. My business is not doing well. Make it do much better, right? I'm asking God to interfere in the marketplace. Okay, all of those things. That's exactly what I'm asking for. Now, here's my question. Going back to the original question. Now, how do we get God to interfere with nature? How do we do it?
Without him to switch it.
But why would God do that?
You persuade him.
You can't persuade God. God's perfect. You're persuading God to make a mistake?
You're saying that we'll be better if you help us.
So hold on a second, but that's very nice. But I'll give you something the Chavos Levavo says. Can you walk into a...
We're basically making a deal.
So if you make a deal with God, let me ask you a question, Simcha. Knowing yourself, I'll talk to myself. I don't want to use you as an example. I'll use myself as an example. Knowing my track record in the last 44 years of my life, Okay. I have made many deals with God, and you know what? I've a lot of them I have not come through on. So if I
Okay.
said, so if I'm God, right, and I come up to God, I say, listen, God, I know I've said this before, but this time I'm serious. You give me this job that I really want, and no more lashon hara. If I'm God, I'm gonna start chuckling, right? Because I'm gonna say, like, no way.
So he knows that everyone's gonna speak lashon hara once in a while. You could say that I won't speak. I'll try not to speak lashon hara within at least 2 hours in the day. That's a normal
Okay.
request. You can't just say an unnormal request. Like, it doesn't work like that. You can't
Okay.
just say like, if you give me $1,000, I'll give you $1 back every day. Like, no one will do that ever.
Okay. So now the question becomes, right? How how often do you do this, right? How do you make a deal with God? So really, I think the opposite. I don't think it's enough to make a deal with God. I think what you have to do is, I think it has to be the opposite. I think you need to be able to prove yourself in front of God. I think that's what has to happen. I think you need to say to God, I'm going to try my very best, and then I'll earn it, right? That's what we're saying. But here's my question: how do you earn God changing nature?
What? How do you earn?
Yeah, how do you earn it?
What?
How do you earn God changing nature?
By doing the right stuff.
Okay, so right. So the only logical way it could ever work, right? The only logical way it could ever work is if what?
Nothing.
Okay. The only way it could work, okay, is if you went ahead and earned it. Okay. Now, why would earning it change God? So I want you guys to focus on this. You ready? Okay. What God does is perfect. Let's imagine, for instance, we're gonna make up a name here. Okay. You've got Sarah.
I've answered that.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so basically, let's say you make a deal with your parents or your teacher and say like, they know you don't need this, but you want it. So I'm not gonna get you something you don't need unless you actually earn it, because then you're showing me that you actually like are proving to me that you actually want it and you're doing something. I'm not just getting it for you, you won't be like, you're actually like earning it. It makes sense. You have to do something for it.
Okay, great. But here's my simple.
Just give it to you. Life is, they don't just give everything in life. You have to earn it. It's like earn a lot of stuff.
Okay, I agree with you 100%. 100%. Okay. But what God is giving, I'm going to use a fictional name here, Sarah Bas Rachel. Okay. The Sarah Bas Rachel is a woman who's sick. Okay. She's a woman who's sick, and she has an illness. Let's say she has cancer. Okay. So Sarah Bas Rachel comes to God and says, God, I'm gonna look at the last month. The last month I haven't spoken lashon hara from 8 to 10 p.m. key lashon hara hours.
First, why does she have cancer?
What?
First place.
I can't. It's hard to understand you.
Whatever.
I don't even know who's talking. Okay.
Okay, so that's the world of TV.
Yep.
Okay, what else?
Okay, so Sarah, this lady, Sarah Bas Rachel, has cancer. Okay, so she's coming to God and saying, God, heal me of this cancer. Look, the last month I've really improved. I haven't smoked lashon hara, I didn't break Shabbos. I did everything I was supposed to the last month, right? So I understand. So God made a mistake. Like, why now does she deserve to be healed?
That's what Yaakov just said, because everyone deserves to have a second chance.
Yeah, but I understand. Like, so you have to explain how this second chance works. So let me explain. You ready? Okay, I gotta explain it in a just a purely mechanical way. Okay, when we tend to imagine that we're the same person, but we're changing. But in fact, when we do tshuva, when we change, we're becoming different people, literally different people. Okay. What do I mean by that? Right? The Rambam says when you do tshuva, you become a completely different person. You are now no longer, he even says, he goes so far as changing your name. Okay, that you change your name as if to say, I am.
Just become a greater of yourself. You don't become a different person. That makes no sense.
So I'll explain to you why you do. Okay, I'll explain to you why you do. Because I used to be Uri Pilichowski, the guy that broke Shabbos, didn't keep kosher, spoke lashon hara, and was disrespectful to my teachers and my parents. Now all of a sudden I've changed my ways. What makes me who I am, is a completely different thing now. I've become a completely and totally different person. I'm no longer that same person. Yeah, I look the same.
You still did it.
Right, but that guy did it. That guy did it. I've completely metamorphosized myself now from a Russia.
Let's say you kill someone and then you go to jail and you totally get off of it and you switch and you're a different person now. You still have in your conscience that you kill someone.
100%, and 100%. David Melch said fantastic. But now, Simcha, now I've changed. I'm a different guy.
Okay, but you're still the same person.
No, you can't say, yeah, you're a different guy, but the same person.
You're still the same person.
But here's how I've changed. You ready? Here's how I've changed, and here's the difference. Okay, the old Uri Pilichowski never earned God's attention. It was completely left to the course of nature. The new Uri Pilichowski is such a good person that now God is willing to break nature for him because he's it's almost like a different person altogether. Okay? That's the idea.
Why can't the old you switch to the new you without still being yourself?
Okay, I think you're caught up.
You earn God's approval with just being yourself. You don't have to switch to a whole different person.
Because it's what you're saying is, right, we're getting caught on semantics. It doesn't make a difference if you're actually a new person or not. The point is that this new person, okay, or this new you, or the same you, but new and improved, whatever you want to call it, now earns God's attention. Okay, you've earned what?
Okay, but at the same time, you can also lose it.
If you go back to the old person, right? But this new person now deserves hashgacha. Okay, deserves hashgacha pratis, deserves God's protection, God's providence. Okay.
Either way, you should though, because it doesn't matter where you're at in life. You still should deserve Hashem helping you out.
No, I disagree. You said it before. Nothing good comes from learning.
And he wants to go back on, but Hashem's just saying that, like, because you went off, I'm not going to help you anymore. You don't deserve my approval. That makes no sense. You're still a Jew.
What?
Let's say someone goes off there and it's like he wants to go back on, but doesn't know how, or like doesn't think he can. Hashem just thinks like you went off and don't deserve my approval anymore. Like he's still a Jew. It doesn't make sense. Hashem should still help him out.
No, so I think that when a person doesn't deserve, okay, doesn't deserve doesn't do anything to deserve God's attention. So God is not going to interrupt the nature for God.
Okay,
right?
but other people, people who carve people will help you out, and like they're doing what God's supposed to do, but He doesn't think you deserve it.
I don't know how you would know that. I'm saying, right? You're like, I'm saying
the other way, but like if you're fully off the deck and you don't want to switch, and then people in the car you switch you back, they're doing what God should be doing. They're just
okay. Maybe I don't know. I'm saying I'm saying I don't know what God's job is. That what you're saying. My point just is like this: when you improve yourself, okay. When you improve yourself, and Liz and Gabriel, again, you should. I don't know why you have your computers open, and I know you hear me. So, like, it's not okay. What you're doing is okay. Okay. Anyway, what you're doing is you are making yourself a better person and earning God's attention. So you're not coming to God and saying, God, you messed up. And I should never have gotten sick in the first place. You're saying, yeah, that guy should have gotten sick, but I'm no longer that guy. Now, all of a sudden, I'm a new guy.
Still shouldn't have gotten sick, though. Doesn't matter. It's not like you're going against God, you're just saying that this is too hard for me and I can't do it as much as I want to. Still want to do it, it's just too hard for you. So
Why? Why don't I say why?
Why is Judaism hard? You can answer that yourself.
Sheesh. Oh, snap.
If you think
What?
it's easy, come on to the wrong religion.
Say again. I didn't hear you. Say again.
You think that you're in a different religion.
Who's in a different religion?
You, if you think it's easy.
No, I didn't say. I never said. I never. Oh, I never said it's easy. I never said it's easy.
I said that it's hard. It is.
Okay, but I'm saying that's not. It's not the point that right now I'm not dealing with whether it's hard or not. There's certain things that are very, very hard. Certain things that are very, very easy. And the more you do things, the easier it becomes. Okay, so it's there waiting for us to take. But 100%, once we get ourselves into a rut and start doing the wrong things, it's much harder to turn ourselves around. Okay, whether or not like you. Okay, so but granted, there are things that are very, very difficult. Okay, very, very difficult, and we struggle with them our whole lives. Okay.
But if you're struggling, you should have someone try to help you go back on. After you break the shots and want to switch, you're like, it's too hard for you. Someone's gonna help you try to change. Or like,
You hope so, but I'm not sure why that matters to our discussion. I'm not sure why you're bringing this in.
it matters because you're saying that you didn't earn God's approval before. At all times, you earn God's approval. It doesn't matter where you're at. Let's say you're like,
If I'm doing the wrong thing, hold on a second. If I'm doing the wrong thing, why am I earning God's attention to break nature for me?
you're obviously gonna change. Like if you want to actually change and you have in mind you want to change, God should help you try to change. You can't just say, okay, you change and then I'll help you. Doesn't work like that.
I don't know why you. I'm not sure. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't know why you think that. I don't think that way. I'm curious as to why you think that way.
That I think that everyone should have a chance to briefly to have a chance.
No. Honestly, I agree. Everyone should have a chance, but you're saying a lot more than a chance. You're saying now that
Everyone deserves a chance. Everyone deserves wherever they're
I
at.
agree 100%. I agree with you 100%. But that's not what you said before.
You're agreeing and then you're telling me that you're disagreeing, so that doesn't really make sense.
No. Hold on a second. You're not. You're simply. You're jumping back and forth. You're jumping back. I agree with you 100% that everybody deserves a chance. Everybody's given many, many chances, right? That's what Tshuva is all about. Okay. And I agree with you 100% that when you strive your best, that God does help you. That's mefurish. It says, "The path that a man chooses is the path that he goes on." Okay, but I don't think we can say that when I fail, it's God's fault that He didn't help me enough.
I never said God's fault, they never helped you enough. I said that I'll give it, like, let's say someone breaks Shabbos, says they won't break Shabbos, and they end up breaking Shabbos every week, and they try not to, but they end up doing it. God will still see that they're trying not to. It might be that their Yetzer Hara is getting above them and they can't do it, but they're still trying not to. There's not someone like, I don't care.
Now, so Simcha, here's my question: do you think that person who's trying should earn God's interference with nature?
Yes.
Okay, I there is where I disagree with you. I think that in order to earn God's, from what I've seen in just in the Svarim, like just what Rishonim say, and what I've learned, in order to actually have God change things for you, you need to actually.
So what do people do? I think people are Rosh Hashanah when they are totally like breaking shots and everything, and then they ask for something and it gets answered. Hashem's still helping them out.
So tomorrow we'll start and talk about how tshuva affects tefillah. Okay. Have a great day, everybody.